Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment. At any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, as kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, as kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Are you the
one others rally around. Inspire soldiers to follow you.
Yeah, this is a couple of squads that have found some late term or maybe mid-term of this season successes, as we have the Fighting Muskies of Muskingum University Black at 3-1, and then the undefeated streak continuing for the Red Flash of St. Francis at 4-0. They've been able to do it pretty consistently at a 2-0 mark only once against Keene. They have to go to that third map. So they're getting the job done here, Chad Landis, Mr. Chad, whenever they need to, and they get it done efficiently and just through a couple maps. But we've got some fun maps going into tonight. Hmm. Yeah, you get to execute how you want to basically go to site A and then play onto site B as, I guess what the only option is. Maybe how mid will be opened up through that. And then our decider later on, Breeze, I guess that's just going to be down to the aimer's going to aim concept from downtown through mid or otherwise. But I'm very excited. It's going to be my first time actually getting to see Pearl. We are guaranteed to get it. No one can deny me for once. Yes, but I am kind of sad they did take away one of your, and also admittedly my favorite maps. I love Haven, but I will sacrifice Haven to get to Pearl. That is just a fact these days. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You know what? I dare the side of Muskingum to just stay here. Okay, stay exactly like this. Well, hopefully they're going to be able to here soon, as well as maybe we get the slot machine of Yorus to progress going into this map. But right now, hey, we got Icebox. We've got pretty much the meta on one side and the fun times on the other side. As we do get the Viper, we get the Chambers, and now we're starting to really kind of lock it in, walk it in. I'm enjoying the difference we're seeing. Okay, we got actually Kitten going to Sova. So instead of that fade that I've seen a lot more often, we're going maybe somewhat old school, trying to be able to find that maybe denial from distance to be able to have that Hunter's Fury. But we also the Reyna to get aggressive with this, and there's a duelist concept.
Yeah, it would be awesome if that were to be the case. We are going to have I love Fade. Personally, big Fade fan.
Yeah.
I love the Prowlers, especially on A site. She honestly is very strong on both sites, so it would be really awesome to be able to see her come to fruition on this game.
So we get to kind of rock and roll into this. And of course, when we go into our, I guess, the control of how you can put your Viper walls down for defensive, just deflection. I do like lining this one up from out of kitchen because they actually went to the left side to be able to cover up that entry into kitchen. So you're going to get, decayed at least a little bit. And also it allows for a bit of a wall off going away from yellow on side B. Side A is all about how you just kind of get in, get out, execute. Otherwise, we've seen a lot of poison orbs that control mid, allow that rotation over.
Yeah.
As long as you got some toxic fumes at the back end. But we go to round number 1, and does anyone get cited out? Yes, they do.
Little information early from the Evercon Bullet, but it won't amount to much because commonly we see a lot of people over Boiler watching anyway, and just really stagnated, really stalled out just to see if there might be a little shenanigans, some SFU pushing out or something like that. just to mix things up in the first map, because they show them pick bans of the maps that they want to mix things up with Pearl and all that kind of stuff. So see if they want to do that strategy. But I think them wanting to make sure that wasn't the case here.
I do like this position by Mako. It's very aggressive, but they're going to be able to have that rendezvous to get in, get out, see if they can be able to find this one. Oh, nice little half step. They're trying to be able to win this duel, but they will only come away with 15 HP, hurt feelings, and a free orb goes over to EK. As EK comes on in, and looks like this one's going to be a main push through B. You do have that Jet with the tailwind up on top of that perch, but because of the Viper wall going up, the Toxic Screen, another wall. It is wall-to-wall city. They're trying to build a new building out here, and it's going to be one that has to have some violation codes because of all the toxicity, but they get finally first blood, and it's Doodle that finds EK.
The spike was planted, so the post plant has begun. 5v4. Tailwind has gone 1 kill away from getting it back. Oh, actually, no. It didn't even actually get the kill earlier on. So, actually afterwards, I should say. That's going to be 1. We are on that point now, and the kill is definitely coming through for SFU. But Muskingum, last alive. Oath has the world to fight against right now. 3 players. Ground ready to 2. Through the poison cloud. Almost gets the headshot lined up onto Mako, but the Shark struck a little bit too swiftly, a little too fiercely. And that's going to be a first round win for SFU.
Doodle put the pressure on early, be able to find that kill onto EK, and then when they rounded the box, it was a rock and a hard place and death chasing you down. So even though they go in and nearly become a right-click hero, doesn't turn out much more than 0. Oath looking to be able to come out on the better side of things, but that is round number 1. We're going to have some Spectres and a Stinger for Skies. Well, maybe, yeah, they'll stick with it. I'm going to tell you right now, Chad, the Stinger, I'm starting to appreciate it more and more these days. That is such a run and gun kind of gun. It's so good.
Stinger gang.
Yeah.
Squad up. Get the Stingers going away. They just recently got buffed as well. And even before then, I feel like it was still in a good spot. So the buff actually came to a surprise for a lot of people. We even saw in the World Championship that a lot of people started buying those up and forcing it on off the pistol round loss. They would still force up in the second round. So even stronger these days, but still, if it can go to Spectre, it is statistically going to be the better option. That's why we're seeing it thought up from SFU. Oath. Thinking about doing a lineup, the committal Viper wall. Do they want to commit that to the A side or not?
Yeah, they probably will play that over into screens if they can. That's become more of a kind of default perch to it. They're really kind of playing with, if anyone's deciding to get more aggressive, you will have that recon dart go out. No intel actually gained, but it's still a low side perch for Scorch, who's looking for anything to drop down. They will be able to get one. They're going to back on up, and shots will be fired to try and take them away outside of Maze, and everyone starts to retreat as that one will take over screen. You're going to see that little gap, which may be able to give kind of a one-way out underneath rafters, but pressure's on as everyone starts to march in. They'll own site for the time being, especially with this wall going through.
The kill's coming too fast. They couldn't even get planted in time. The retake was so aggressive from SFU. So we talked about that momentum, the streak of not being undefeated, and they're looking to keep that going by just throwing themselves on site and not even letting Muskingum have a chance to set up a post-plant situation.
Yeah, I like that they knew the wall was coming down. They experienced the decay. They knew they had the firepower difference, but they really didn't go too far off-site to kind of allow that bend and flex to then come back on. They said, no, we're gonna bring the fight right back to you before you can even really get your utility set. I do wonder where that wall went. I think it blocked the front side of that nest, but I don't think it went all the way to wall, so allow them to come a free gap, especially underneath and through rafters. So first couple go though, we have Vandals in all hands for the side of the Muskies, but the fight is still brought out through tunnel by Skies.
Wow, this anti-bonus round has not been going well so far. Even the long-range dink from Dig. It's just a sheriff, so the damage is not going to be a lot, but this is kind of crazy. You're seeing SFU in the attacker spawn a few seconds into the round. Spectre's in hand, trying to close the gap, and they're doing it successfully. Oh, the last one alive. Finds the headshot on Mako, but needs to do so much more. 4 more alive. It has no idea this rap's coming behind them. The other Viper has them on the off angle. The timing that Oath wasn't expecting, and this pressure just throwing off. Like, typically if the pressure wasn't there, Oath would think, oh, surely we'd just check this doorway. This is the defender spawn. But so many people in attacker spawn, Oath just like was thrown off the rocker a little bit and didn't even expect them to be in their own spawn anymore because everybody else was on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a snake, it would have bit him, and it did because it was Mommy Viper with that snake bite, but it was a gun to the head that was able to take him down. But yeah, you have that many. This is feeling like a weird, like early optic strat. Get aggressive, get in your opponent's face and in their safe house, which is supposed to be nice. You know, supposed to be okay. A quick whip. Mako won't be able to get tagged with that operator, which, you know, is great for the side of the Muskies as they've been unable to really kind of get more than just a single plant at this point. They're looking to maybe run it down B like they did before, but there's a weird split going on here as you have the chamber on the opposite end just to create maybe that concavity of like weirdness because you're going to have 4, but they have that 1. It has to be accounted for.
Let's see if they drop that Lear out. I don't want to see no dry swings here, Muskingum. Let's use a Lear at least. I know it's a save round. We have 2 of them to work with. At least winnable. Oh, but Mako still gets the kill. Still dry picking. Mako's good for 2. Oh, that Lee's able to answer right back. That mid control a little bit there as well. Oh, Snante. The swing from Big was just a little bit too strong. The spike, at least in the midst of all this, is planted, but what would that really amount to? Muskingum can't even get more kills, at least do economical damage in this round, make it at least a good eco. He's underway, the slow orbs is slowly swing out. That feels so bad, man. Doodle able to pick up the last kill.
And they're going to be able to recover that operator at no expense, no money lost. Good credit still saving to the bank. 4-0 up on the board. We're going to have some buy-ins onto this one. We'll have a true rifle v rifle round, but that power differential already, it feels huge. Mako has that tour de force. They've got an operator. They basically have one in the back pocket, one in the front one. They could maybe have another if they really want to, but the Viper's Pit, I could see Oath maybe want to make use of that to get onto site. They have not, like, they've been patient about their approach, especially onto site A when they're trying to play with timing. I can see them maybe even want to lead in with that just to be able to give them some space, maybe take away those sight lines. Hasn't been great so far against the Red Flash, who have been great at this point.
Losing your bonus round, it makes the half so tough to come out on top of it. You can just tie it up. This is that big turning point for Muskingum if they want to get back in this half. And I'm looking at EK as well. Empress is online, available, ready to go. This is a player that is that Reyna, is that lone duelist team. Even Reyna, though, is usually a good like secondary duelist. If somebody else can make a little space, play for EK to pop off, the Empress available, and just keep that momentum, keep that chain reaction build that everything is, can pop off when it happen. That could be a big turning point. Otherwise, utility could be really good too. But speaking of utility, members SFU just doing so good at just locking down the site. You saw Dig even dropping the wall. Mako has the read. Somebody might be peeking here because they've done it before, and the read is good if they were patient enough.
Oh, and they knew just to hang out. They could either see the rotation go or they'd have someone hang on to that corner because they're trying to just be ready for that flank. But power aggression is found. We have a trade of each side. Still the attackers only got 3 as everyone's still held up in nest. It's going to be wired up. She's trying to at least turn this corner and make a quick heal, and now they have to worry about the defusal as everyone's cut from around the corner. That's Oath is able to pick up Scorch, the operator from close range, and that one will do it. The defusal comes out. They can't make use of the snake bite to cover up their tracks. It's gonna be a 5-0 through into this first half of the first half, and still, it's just, this is a Red Flash team for St. Francis. They've been undefeated up to this point, and they're showcasing just how effective and how like confident they are about their setups.
You know it's bad when Skies dies to the spike or to the snake bite unnecessarily just to defuse it, but they had plenty of time to wait it out. But also it's at 9,000 credits at the end of that round anyway, so maxed out anyway. That's how dominant SFU is right now. And Muskingum, the AK wasn't able to get anything off that round. It was kind of a first contact point there. Didn't even pop in yet, so at least for future rounds when they can buy up, they'll have that available. But for this round, it's not going to feel very good as it goes already off to getting some more prey, chomping away, and then Nightfall coming down on the execute timing. It's harder for Muskingum to get in here. They completely stop their tracks.
Yeah, this is going to be a Prowler extended through that Nightfall. They know where pretty much everyone is as they're trying to come down main, but Scorch is going to run away with a bullet in their body. They're not going to digest that one too well. This one looks like just a fun house where all the marker strings are hanging. It's still, I mean, so there's also a flank coming in from the backside. Doodle will be making contact against one as they are at least checking on that lurk outside of it. Plant forthcoming. They're outside of the poison orb perimeter. Oath is able to get one with a sheriff. Do they expect Doodle in front of them as well? Not from that side angle. And so this is going to be starting to have a lot of pressure from north and south. But the Stingers are coming through. Stinger gang assemble, rise up to the situation.
Well, this is not the round you expect Muskingum to win, especially with how it started off. But the presence of mind from these members, that Stinger in the forefront as well, is all up to Skies now, and their own Viper's Pit can be a strong force to reckon with, but not in comparison to a Stinger in Wired Up's hands. Muskingum gets on the board.
You know, muskies are the largest predatory fish here in the North American region, and you know, they're in the family of the pikes, so they have to get that spike down, and they're trying to be able to hunt down all these smaller fish, even if they have to go into murkier waters. So they do so, and finally are able to stymie some of this momentum out of the red flash. But St. Francis has been pretty good so far. You're going to have a tour de force online for Mako. They're ready to bring the game to them. But so to be said about their doppelganger and Rocinante. Got to see if that happens, but you know, so far they take their initiator off the board.
Yeah, and an operator on defense for this map especially is going to be so much stronger than offense. So even just the double activation mirrored up, it's still an advantage for SFU by statistics at the very least. Not to say Rocinante can't make some magic happen here, because that's something I've seen in the past for sure. But we'll see if that comes to fruition, as A-Site was stalled out before. The cut noise and re-exec play is underway. Scorch, so making that going to be a tough play to pull off.
They're going to already renegotiate outside of Maze, and they're still playing fairly patient. This has been a squad out of St. Francis that retake has not been too tough. They'll be able to see each other from just that weird little thin angle. These are paper thin walls, and Muskingum has the option to still rotate out if they want to be able to get out of this position. Rocinante is just trying to find maybe Scorch peeking. It's so disciplined.
But Mako's holding the angle with it, right? So they know the rotation didn't actually happen. That's why they still have on SFU 3 people still here holding the line, ready for execution.
Get that Viper's Pit down. Now you actually get that chamber rolling back through. Oath is able to at least get rid of Dig, and they have to really make this plan happen. You may have a Viper's Pit that actually just spraying through. This guy's just whipped around. They get a 3K. They just took their mouse, threw it up to 3,000 DPI, and said, "Blah!" and just went burr as fast as they could.
Man, Scorch was up in their faces for sure, trying to make that happen with the high DPI. Sky's sitting there just shooting down the line, knowing they're going to have to run through this line of like bullets to get to the site anyway, so might as well spam it out. Look at the main map that Scorch is giving them information on when to start shooting as well. SFU, they had the advantage of the timer being so low that Muskingum had to go for the reckless push up to the site at the very last moment. It looked like it could be good because of that Viper's Pit. Just the read and understanding of the moments from SFU and that clock being a 6th player in SFU's hands.
Nice.
Oh, this is my favorite trick. Scorch doing exactly what I love to be able to see, but now they're going to be turned into switch. What? How are they nearly getting a 3K on it? Making that wire run, a bit of a circus trapeze act to get over there, and it's a surprise as you go up there yourself. But right now, they're just eliminating people off the board. Skies finds another one. This has just been stopped before it even began, as all as Rocinante. Oh, they're going to dig them a grave up on that upper steel. So through the first 8, you got 7. And when we kind of look at the scoreboard, we look and see what's happening. The killers they got to kill ain't killing. And that's what's been stopped by the likes of St. Francis.
Yeah, it's the struggle of having just a sole Reyna team composition, especially on Icebox, where if Reyna cannot get going with kills, then the composition struggles. You don't have the extra utility, because like some people are using Reyna Leers as like almost like an initiator option these days because they're really strong, but it's still not really initiator. There's still a lot of utility lacking in comparison to an actual utility, like if you got with like a KO instead of Reyna, right? So not having as much utility on the site properly, while also not having the gap closing and the dashing abilities, things like that, and it's just tough to let things happen if you can't just click those heads dominantly, just like Mako's doing right now.
So the yellow top side maybe be able to get another TP, but they wait They wait because they know investment of the rendezvous is to be able to get a 3K, and they've just been making a mess of foreheads out there. Frenzy superiority won't be proved today. I am sad I'm part of that other gang. You will have a Stinger pickup, and they'll be able to upgrade to a Vandal. Wall goes down. Now, thank you, as they will be going and getting that plant online, but the bricks are already broken. The root will keep them in place, but they'll be able to at least get this plant. Prowler will make them blind. This isn't great because they're stepping on a snake bite. That was so much utility. That had to have been just a horror game.
Wired Up did not get to play VAL right there. It feels bad, dude. I love Cool Scoot going to the free cam so we can see just the field of utility completely trapped in that one spot, and because of that, SFU knew exactly where to swing and shoot. And at least they got a spike plant, a couple kills on their eco. It's overall not a bad eco, but when you're down 1-8, that still feels bad.
Weirdly enough, I mean, you know, Valorant is a big world, huge community, thank goodness, because it's awesome. But I've seen 10-2s become 12-12s. Yeah. So they got one, which is great. That takes pressure off the early pistol round of half number 2. So there's still time. 8-4 could be right around the corner. But right now, St. Francis has just been so keen, has been so just smart about how they've been able to get back to site, even if there's been some early trades, and also just having great lethality on their, if they're in aggressive points like up on top of yellow, they get the most amount of value from it.
Amazing spot for Scorch. The leader doesn't make them, but they can use that haunt. If they tag people, they get shot through the enemy's smoke screen. That looks sick, but EK. This is what I want to see earlier. Empress activated, getting first kills, getting online, bobbing and weaving, but can't get more than just one. Dig shuts them down on the site. Res is available, but can they get to it? It's gonna be exposed. It's a little bit risky one, but nobody's there to punish.
Revealing area.
Had so much pressure with the nightfall that it pushed everyone back, so they were basically free to do as they wanted, and they really couldn't hear it in the first place if they were caught up in it. You will have Kitten be able to get rid of Scorch, who is one of those big value players. As the rotation begins, operators pointed. Mako, operator, is this gonna happen? You bet. Bang, straight to the chest. A third one, or a second one from the opposite end. A good crossfire between those two. Team Ace comes out, and that's not 90% of the rounds going to the red flash.
90%, that's wild. Man, in Mako lurking in the depths there. Ready to strike. Doodle also drawing themselves into the garage to have a cutoff to work with Mako on top of it all. Nowhere for Muskingum really to go, and you see that happen, and it just tells you that SFU has so much confidence at this point. They have just the two people on site chilling, and everybody else working cutoffs. They just have so much confidence they would win the 2v2 that they didn't have to reinforce themselves. They just held the angles and just worked it from there, and they didn't get punished for it because, yes, they are finding success in it even still. Momentum so heavily in their sails.
Resilient game at this point. You're trying to be able to look for one. A weird wall, but it works out. EK's able to get one. They will dismiss out of the way, out of harm's way. They get another one, run and gun as they take down Scorch. They're going to be able to have some extra shields. The Viper's Pit will go up. Skies is inviting them into the danger zone. They're all going to start traveling around it. Maybe be able to take out more from the outside. Skies will drop Doodle as well. Mako still has an operator. It's a tough one to swing, especially from this tight angle right outside screens. Will anyone challenge them? From distance, they find another. I'm surprised I haven't seen EK just press out. That's all they needed. They will win this second one. I think they could have won it earlier. You know what? Safety to put the bomb down, get that win.
And electing to go with an operator on attack for the last round of the half is very interesting. It's not a thing you commonly see, offensive operators. And no operators in hand for SFU because they have the Tour de Force available. That Stinger supremacy was so huge there. The really unfortunate timing for Skies as well, looking away the moment that Kitten goes into the Viper's Pit, shoots him in the back. Everything working for Muskingum that round. Blades are available. I want to talk about Huntington's ults though. They have a Resurrection available to trade off and find success. That offensive operator working out really well. Rocinante realizing Mako holds that mid angle very commonly and shutting them down, finally getting that read and find success off of it. Not just Fear can come in later as well for Kitten to be able to either suppress the site and get on it or just use it for the post plant.
Yeah, that was one big ult I knew that they're going to try and find massive value for in late term of this first half. They could be able to get this to 3, see if the curse does come about. Blaze Storm, though, up. No one's planting early. Swing 1. You got 4 left. Some EK find skies in the sky, and now they die, so this will fry at least a little bit. As plant will happen, they're gonna get that Sova way far away, pinging the heck out of that bomb. Viper's Pit is in, so this is so much like advantage right now for Musking.
Yeah, this is a virtually impossible round for SFU to win.
Last player standing.
It might be a series over if they win this round, honestly, because that would just be an insane blow to the mental. But taking the first 2 kills, could have gotten AK there and kept on going, kept on trucking, and maybe it could have been a miracle in her eyes. But no, Muskingum does finish it off. They had just way too many resources at that point.
So they make them the best of a bad situation. Couldn't quite get 8-4, but you turn to 9-3, and everyone's been able to see the memes and the reality of what that could be. And quite a few in the champion sphere that even dread this current score line. But we got to see if this Reyna concept works in maybe in a retake. What if you have this kind of Reyna what EK is kind of on? They found some heat and they found some energy late in that first half. Yeah. How do they set up to engage to really just kind of shut down St. Francis to not allow them those final rounds they need for this win?
It's hard because I feel like Reyna naturally does better on offense than defense. So I feel like this is going to be even harder half for Muskingum, especially with fade. They can force it out just like this, make it real hard for Nante to really hold an angle properly. Holds the ground, but can rendezvous out always. So the Valorant's good old utility sponge of Chamber still working out really well. Pistol around that wall is not going to be going away anytime soon. Oh, they could commit. Mako getting the first blood, finding success in mid on defense as they do on offense.
Wow. I swear Mako has a timeshare in mid because they've been able to own it for as long as they want. Oh, a quick step over Doodle! But Nikke on notice that they have a stamp on their forehead. It is going to be delivered to them no matter where they need it to go, and it's going to be their gun that finds them. But Oath is able to step up to the plate. Sadly, that plate is also a home run swing in favor of Skies. So Doppelganger Syndrome hits them hard. They hit double digits first.
Yeah, what might be even harder on this half as well is we saw SFU come into a blazing hot start to where Muskingum had a read of like, let's just stagnate for that first round of this entire map. And then SFU won anyway. And then every round after that, until SFU eventually started losing rounds, was just more aggression. It wasn't until SFU actually had to be completely stalled out, after respect Muskingum actually finding some success here and there, EK getting like, pop-off moments with a stinger and things like that. That's the only times that SFU really found failure in some of these rounds, but otherwise, if they're on their game, if they can just go and play the way they want to play, they've been widely successful. And if they're on offense, naturally, this is your have to do it.
Haunt up. See if anyone's going to challenge them as they directly march onto point. They've got the Arsenal difference. They're going to try and turn it into a kill and HP difference. They're going to walk in, walk out, get on with their lives, play for maybe some Linus from downtown, but that's actually a flank that is shut down. Rocinante is put to the floor by Mako, as a lot of people are coming from screens and from rafters around that outside. EK is going to try and find them from up here on main CT, or rather T side. Can't quite get the right click hero to hit him in the forehead. Mako finds one, Doodle as well, and then the kill feed is just filled with Muskies. Not quite fighting to their top potential, but of course, it's that first couple of round advantage here in the second half.
This really feels like the last round for Muskingum if they lose it. This is going to be their big buy. They went full eco last round, which makes sense. You want a full buy when you're down on the enemies on 11. So they'll be able to do that here anyway. EK deciding what exactly you want to do as far as the comment goes, but for Reyna's, it's usually generally pretty easy. Make that choice. They will be able to get full armor as well. Yeah, if SFU converts the bonus again here, it might be all over. The economy for it must be so bad.
Oh!
Spike down
Okay,
mid.
that's what I wanted to see. EK was setting up from just outside of kitchen. Maybe he's looking to shut down something that went into tunnel, but otherwise it was about who can they side out first before that rotation comes in. But you get a couple traded. Rocinante had rotated across that wall. Very clever way to get into kitchen without making that rotate. They are putting this bomb on bridge.
One enemy
Good work.
remaining. Spike down B.
Good by Muskingum to be there so fast to be able to punish them and not even let them be able to get set up on a very creative play. I like that. If they could do it slightly faster, maybe it could have been nice. The timing almost was there. If they were like literally half a second faster, get the spike planted, and then swing the corner with the Spectre in the face as an enemy, like maybe you could pull off that round, but wasn't meant to be. That was huge for Muskingum. You had to win that round. And that initial spray from EK with a nice read that they might go play for a mid-lane play there was really good.
I so rarely get to see plants up and nest, and I love it because it's just so weird, and even more so getting to see that along with maybe a Viper Pit usage because it just drips down like it's weird, like Nickelodeon slime, and you get to see how that kind of all works out. But this is going to be rifle v rifle. You got to prove that you can actually win these combats. The Viper's Pit does get expended defensively onto B, so this is going to force everything to A, and they're kind of a one lone defender out there for the Muskies.
Yeah.
So they're going to hang out backside A.
They're relying heavily on this wall to completely stop SFU. I mean, it is for now. You see the rotation now happening from 8K. It's a good read on timing from Muskingum. That could have been blown through in SFU had they known, which there's no way they could have. Could have been on site and just do like a 5v4 push through, but everything was stalled out. Muskingum has a good line of scrimmage now. Again, Doodley. Ships in the night moments. It's EK has a nice good spray to start off the round yet again. That keeps happening. I think Muskingum might be able to put a bid in for a return round. Oh, they didn't expect the wraparound.
And there's no way they could have known because soft
30
footsteps,
seconds
and now there's just this pit that's hanging out right interior. Oath owns it, but no one's invited to that party. No one cares, but it looks like there's actually going to be a squeeze onto it. They don't have to plant under that Viper Pit, which means they're going to have to force them out of there. Oath is so nearby. They're not seeing it, though, from that side angle. Getting full value out of this Judgment Day is brought by Oath. The bomb is down. Mako, they've had a special agent in the form of that Sky, or Jet, rather, go through to be able to get rid of their doppelganger, but Mako's going to save, be able to live through an 11-5. So, you know, this is starting to look at least a tiny bit promising for the Fighting Muskies.
Doodle just learned a little bit of a valuable lesson there on key where Viper's Pit barely wraps around a corner like that. Maybe that Viper's sitting in that corner.
Just right there.
Right there. That one little spot. Narrowly. The one spot Doodle was not looking towards. That's where they were. You saw them like look around, like they heard the snake bite get launched, so like they're right here. So just guessed wrong and going into the smoke. Now with a vengeance placed on.
Maybe almost buddy cop movie their way through, be able to bump into each other, but this Blade Storm is actually looking to get full value if they can. Another Viper Pit. We have so many Viper Pits in this one. Guess what? It's on the tiny sliver, right where they're able to plant the bomb.
Spike planted.
As well, though. Doodle's Blade Storm goes down here. The threat level from SFU diminishes so greatly. So much on Doodle. Oh, it's tagged out. Force back.
Getting dropping. That's massive because they're not able to use some of those AoEs, but they're going to have a counter wall go up. Now you have EK flinging in from the backside. They're going to be able to swing on this one. They do have a sage that's behind them as well. EK is going to be able to give big value. They are able to maybe get the defusal. It's still beeping. They're still dropping. They have the right click. Trying to knife them. Oh, they jumped them like a ninja in the night. Oath is put on their back, and it's Jet that did it. Oh my goodness, Doodle's a monster.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like Mako was in a spot where they're going to win that round anyway, but man, that was a way to finish it. That was wild from Doodle to realize, yo, I have one option. Here we go. Got it.
You always forget that the Blade Storm actually has 6 knives, and that's the 6th one right there.
Man, imagine that be a buff to Jet where you just get a knife kill with your regular knife and get your Blade Storm back in the round if you already popped your knife.
I feel like you've earned that if you get that, right? Oh.
People would not be happy, just like Scorch not happy to deal with EK Stinger yet again, but Mako was able to shut them down immediately, make it a 4-versus-4 situation. Mako might pop the tour de force this round. I wouldn't blame him for doing so. However, saving it for when they not need it more economically could make sense too. Muskingum has their own tour de force pop though. knows. That was scary.
Oh yeah, you make that kind of jump step, the wiggle, the jiggle, but that's also told them, hey, you know what? Let's get back in there. It's everyone knows from the side of Muskingum that they're not rotating because they have that sight line from Rosinante, but it's that much scarier because you're in basically a 4-on-2 because you have your Sova way backside of B, which I feel like they should be called over to help deal with this push. Tight angle, triple guns. You're not going to win that swing. Mako's going to be able to get another one. They've got a triple kill, and they're maybe looking to end out this entire first game with an ace if they feel it.
I wouldn't blame Mako for popping Tour de Force now.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to Rafters, Tour de Force, hold it for that spike plant. That's planted for Rafters. But choosing not to go back just yet. Wants to stay on the second instead. It's the Doodle going for the hunt on the flankers.
Last player standing.
Whoa! Is that game? 1v3? Monkey, I don't know.
Yeah, Kids are going to try and take this corner. They're able to at least get one, but you have from downtown. It's going to be Doodle, not the Tour de Force, but it might as well have been a Tour of Force as 13-5. The Red Flash are able to be just as energetic and just as winning as they have before. And they, right now, through the first map of our best of 3 tonight for either the ECAC Esports Showcase of Week 5, are in the lead of this series.
Yeah, we saw some life kind of come in there for Muskingum, but just the lead that SFU was able to build up was just too great. It comes down to, you just have a couple bad reads, a couple bad gunfights, and suddenly lost that one final round kind of situation. So we would love to see Muskingum be able to come up with more rounds earlier on, and maybe we can see a lot more competitive defensive half when these definitely were looking a lot stronger there. But we will also be able to see them have a chance to come back stronger on the second map of Pearl. However, it is SFU's pick, so we'll see if Muskingum can rally together and have a stronger force, or if it's going to be a quick 2-0 for SFU to continue the streak, undefeated streak. 4-0 right now, might be 5-0 this week. We'll see on the other side of this break.
Your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything. Becoming a leader is a choice. So if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch ahead.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment. At any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore. Just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids. And for their kids, it's kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother, soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody.
We're back! Did you miss us? It's week 5 time here for some Valorant action on ECAC Esports. Again, I'm Hale Monkeyman in the booth alongside Chad Lantis, and we are shifting over to maybe a place that kind of is hometown familiar for you, Chad Lantis, because we're going to just associate down the neighborhood of Atlantis to Pearl. So we get to have a fun time in Pearl with all the waterways.
I feel like I'm betraying my own kind by saying, not saying Pearl is my favorite map, and saying Haven is instead. But I do enjoy Pearl. I enjoy casting and watching Pearl a lot more than playing it, which is not really the norm. I usually enjoy casting what I enjoy playing too. But Pearl is an interesting one where I really enjoy watching people play it and figuring out ways of working around this map. But personally, I don't want to deal with B main primarily when I play the game. But we're going to go in game in just a moment. Going to Pearl. This is a map that a lot of people are not familiar with as far as watching on broadcast, but it's been a while been in the game for a while. So if you play the game, you're familiar for sure. Callouts like Dugout is pretty unique to this map. Arts, I like to call the middle area Mohawk or Mr. T, which is the divider for Plaza, but you know, not all the kids these days really get that reference. I get it.
Yeah, no, it's sad. We're a dying breed. It's okay. But everyone eventually is. You guys get to have your cool time down there. Well, we're up here in the booth. We get to see if maybe St. Francis will continue their undefeated streak. Muskingum was able to find moments of a victory, but it was so brief. Cannot let themselves fall far behind, especially because the mentals start to really kind of track back with this one. We're going to have a lot of control of this map. We're going to go. Big Stow's going to be hanging out on that Sage. Scorch on the Fade. Doodle switching from Jet over to the Raze, and Skies, instead of on that Viper, we're going to have a bit of use onto the Astra. I haven't seen a lot of Astra play. That's because I'm on that low tier, but I feel like they can be able to make a lot of use out of Nebula as well, as just making sure that if you come around from those connectors, especially even for maybe flank, if you go to up B or even in the flowers of A, you can be able to catch your opponents by surprise. But we're going to have EK actually switching roles entirely.
I'll tell you what, man, about Astra being really good on Pearl. I played Astra, the first time I ever played Astra ever was in that last act on Pearl. Had the hardest time figuring out the UI for placing stars. I was like, I've seen this so many times. I feel like this should be easier, but I just can't. But I still won, and we're in Ascendant. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. We still won because the Astros are so strong on this map. This is why you see both teams running it. And like you said, EK going over towards the sky. I did have the feel of like they're kind of using Reyna as like a pseudo initiator, which a lot of people like doing, but I really love doing that if there's also a primary like duelist, like a Raze or a Jet on your team, and not having that combination last game really seemed to make Muskingum struggle a little bit on dynamics where they didn't have explosivity, having a really big time primary duelist, especially with Reyna being able to follow up, and they also didn't have as much utility as if EK was actually on like a Sky or a KO. So I feel like if something like that changed, like maybe have that if they had that change, I think it would be a lot better map for Muskingum on Icebox. But this time around, still not going with a duelist. I know Chamber's kind of like a pseudo one, but they're not going to have explosivity, but so much more utility. I think they're going to have a lot better time here.
I want to see how this play of Kitten onto the Viper works out, because personally I've loved a lot more. I know Astra's is great, but I think that's because of the versatility of being able to kind of get you stars, get you Nebulas down. I want to see how maybe that works, because I love Omen on this map in particular. They're running it down on B main. They're going to come straight up to it, trying to own this corner. This one was actually expanded in one of those patches to be able to allow sight lines, make sure no one can get to you on that corner. But look at this rotation. They say, you know what, this is a little bit too tough. We're going to move over immediately, and some of that shift is happening as well. Viper wall is in fact down to try and take away this A main perch, but they're playing with it, and they're also letting Mako go play. That's what Mako's done best so far since the first map.
Overall, pretty good rotation. However, 3 members of Muskingum all still here. So many stars committed for this take.
Need that back. Taking that back. Recovering it.
Oh, not so committed. Could get those recharged later on, maybe for a post plant, but not committing yet because that smoke was in main. A lot more narrow now, like you said. The bot cleared right for them. They swing right through. They might be able to get access to site, but 3 members must get looking the other way. The firing squad was good, but they weren't ready for Mako's flank. Finds the frags for SFU, and all down to the Lone Ranger. Muskingum making the rotation now, but how much can they do in a 1v3 post plant?
Chum in the water, and the flavor is a muskie. Mako is having a feeding frenzy between Icebox to here. They come out of the freezer and go into somewhere a little bit warmer, but it is unsafe waters if you're traveling against that chamber. Rocinante in a 1v3. The Haunt says, hey, I see ya. The Well says you're going to be doing a shuffle to the side. Can't quite get themselves online. Skies will find him with a ghost. And I liked this little bit of travel. They were hyper focused on being able to go and get those ult points. They are trying to build up that as quickly as possible, probably for the that big Astra wall that they can put down. I saw that in Champions as well, and it makes for such a good use of denial just to force your opponent to come to you.
Yeah, especially for the B tank, that wall makes it so much more reliable to be able to actually get down that. It's such a long distance to run down basically just a corridor, like a wide open corridor area. It's so tough to travel. You have to use so much utility to get down there safely. And Chambers being so big part of this meta, still very strong agent and thrives in these kind of situations, as we see now.
Oh, but Rocinante does get value out of that one. TP's away after taking Dig's forehead away on that Headhunter. Now on the other side of screens, this is going to try and take away that sight line from that upper nest, but tower still under fire as everyone's looking to work their way up the well, trying to suck away anyone that might exist beyond screens. EK was a step away from being caught out, but then a wall bang. They just said, all right, let's fire. Bang.
Good prediction shots.
Right there.
I mean, this is SFU's map pick, you know, like they clearly are comfortable with it. They know where to look for. Going to be able to get a spike planted. Because of that, Rocinante down to 8 HP. The sky has fallen, so no healing coming their way. Doodle shutting them down right away. And this post plan is progressively looking better on SFU's side.
Oh,
especially now.
Wired up, she was seeing maybe she'd be able to get some distance with a classic, but the old classic sink and dink as you look up and then you drop down because you're dead. But 2-0 inside the first couple of rounds. And again, yeah, this is the Red Flash's pick. They have probably planned for this one a lot more. Skies is already looking hyper lethal on the Astra. They twice now have expended a Nebula Star to be able to go and get that orb. Make sure they do build up towards their wall. They are one away. So I see them. It's very cool to see how teams have a strategy in mind of how they're just going to execute through like a 3-round basis, building up their ults to be able to give them their ultimate design by the end of it.
Taking that back.
They're not even playing for the orb right now. So yeah, default like you said, like they're playing for. Maybe get that Nightfall closer, seems to be the call. And also, would you even use the Cosmic Divide in this round, right? It's a really poor buy. So even if you play for that orb, you're likely going to lose this round anyway, statistically. So if you are anyway, you're going to die and get an orb point anyway. Like, you might as well get the orb on somebody else. You can start building a little bit better.
I'm just going to try and play this tight angle. They are able to get Dig. Dig didn't really exist for much longer in round number 2 either. So trying to see if they can, bring more to the table. But they are gone, and Mako does get rid of Sky. Mako from distance. Can they win the trade? No. Rocinante has the power difference as well as a full AR. So this becomes one that maybe will finally split the diff of those rounds. But they don't see Doodle, who is going to trade up to a Vandal.
30 seconds
and Scorch is able to get Oath.
I thought that might have been bad for SFU because Oath was tucked away back sight and that was not being cleared by Doodle at all. But in fact, Oath continued staying tucked away, did not go for a timing planted. Because of that, Doodle actually got amazing timing on Wired and got a free kill. Good look.
So deja vu.
Yeah, this is 1v3 bonus play for Rocinante. Here we go, baby.
But Haunt is gone at least.
And also, this could be another bonus round win for SFU, which is bad deja vu from last map as well.
At this point, I would just play into saving that Vandal. But
I would
you know
too,
what?
honestly.
Well, they heard the step. Now they're going to expend it anyway. Everyone starts double swinging. I mean, it seemed like it's a story we've seen before, and it just happened from the first round to the next, and just executing so well is this Red Flash squad, and they still are able to take the first 3, and guess what? We got that Cosmic Divide 5-0 right now with Skies.
I think the save there is definitely the best call. Like, they have Astra Stars down. They could grab you well if you go for the tap just like they did. Like, it is virtually impossible to win that round. So you might as well save it, and they chose not to. That could be a Vandal that could be used for B main here, and Rocinante could have been able to have a hero moment, go for that first peek, and then rendezvous out, continue holding the site while those rotates through, from mid, but instead it's just going to be a bad buy all the way through, and it's going to be Muskingum going for a very aggressive death ball kind of strategy through Plaza, but even faster as SFU it seems.
Probably going to come out, look for anyone. It doesn't scream, so it'd be safe for them to be able to travel. Going to check that corner regardless, but while the death ball is there, half of it, more than half, as 4, comes down from ramp. So, as Guiding Light does identify at least one, Mako will back up an operator that could get a collat here, and all of a second, they get one, have to reload, can't quite get the other one, don't need to. Sky's able to be the limit. They get another, stomachs are just being opened up with holes in the shape of a bullet, and it doesn't tag at least that one. Another through the wall bang them because they can't kill the Mako. It is a feeding frenzy for that shark.
Wow. The struggle with going stingers there too with Muskingum. After they went for the aggressive mid play and they found nobody in Plaza, they realized, oh my god, we have to go through B main. Sure, we have the flank, but it's all stingers. Even if they got the kill and make a close quarters, it was unreasonably aggressive with an operator in that situation when Skies could have just covered with a Vandal. They didn't get punished, and even if they did get punished, it's still long range of stingers. They couldn't deal with Skies even after that, so it was a dire situation to be sure for Muskingum. It wasn't even getting a kill out of it either. Going aggressive in Plaza again, but as if you just not want anything to do with Plaza so far, with the exception to about 1 round so far.
Face your fear!
One. The Nightfall does come out. on the opposite edge, but that's just a clear A. No one was there in the first place, so they had it for free, and they're gonna set up basically the exact same way. There's a bunch of nebula. Might as well be a full universe hanging out just around this point. Site will be held. Paint shells come out to at least force right up in the gang back into the corner. Plant comes out as the cosmic divide does go up, so there's just not a whole lot of vision unless you like a pearly night sky. Kitten finds Doodle, which is a massive weapon to take off the board, trying to be able to get out of there, nearly getting caught. The Prowler does get him, but it's a 2-on-4. Make it 4-on-1.
Still winnable for Scorch, but man, it's rough. 1 HP, the spam's coming in. They're sticking it now, but they can't really transfer realistically to Oath. Oath with a nice timing to swing through. They will have plenty of time to defuse as well. They'll be able to recover the operator on top of it all. And a great round for Muskingum.
If there's ever anything that I want someone to experience to maybe dislike Valorant from the get-go, it's one, that many walls, that many smokes, and two, having to deal with ADS burst fire from a stinger from distance on B. That would they would not like that at all. But hey, they grab a round through the first 5. That's faster than they did it the last time. That's good to see out of Muskingum.
Yeah, this plaza aggression is working out for them as well. They didn't find anything on that Stinger Force like low buy round because nobody was there, but taking mid control is kind of like a 101 good thing to do in Valorant. And it was working for Muskingum, but now SFU realizing, you know what, that's what worked for them. Let's go ahead and fight them at their own game. Took a kill of their own. Left Spike behind. Who needs it? We'll just go for frags.
This is a death match. This is a Call of Duty. The only thing missing is Neon being able to slide in there. This becomes a 4-on-5. The snake bite will actually go down to slow them down, but everyone's just kind of hanging out around Fountain. Flip a coin in there, maybe give us some good luck. That's about what we need at this point. Double swing, trying to be able to get one. It'll be a trade as Skies drops, digs, able to get another. Kitten drops out of at least this round. We'll have to fight from respawn and yell at their teammates. The 3-on-4. This is still kind of an alien, especially look at Doodle all the way backside.
Yeah, they're given so much space, and Doodle is happy to take it. We saw it on B site as a Jet on Icebox. We're seeing it on A site as a Raze on Pearl. Doodle doing it once again. And now Oath has to clear the spawn. Go for a really risky peek through. Crab being forced to crab wall like that. Oh, it's rough, man. That's rough.
I already don't hold things properly as I walk normal. Make me crap like duck walk through water, and you're gonna be seeing an old man that just is tripping on himself, which is about the outcome of what we saw a moment ago. So Wired Up is all of a single ult point away. Maybe get that Nightfall, and there's gonna be a plentiful amount of them as the Tour de Force is the only expenditure by Muskingum. But opposite end, you have the you have game changer in that giant rocket for Doodle. They already showcased that they can be tricky, be it a jet or otherwise. They're gonna try and do maybe just be forceful into this one, but again, it's playing defaults. They're seeing if that aggression plays the plaza, and then they flex around it.
Right there.
Good timing by Skies. Sneaks right past. The straight mark's gonna alert for them though, so they have to deal with this. At the very least, Nebula for it, but I don't know if Oath is going to be able to punish properly with just pistol in hand. It's going to be tough. Doodle, meanwhile, still finding success on A site. Wired Up not having a good time on A versus Doodle.
Well, actually does.
Risky.
Just right out in the open. They don't really care. Even with the drop down. What? Oath backed up? And that was a perfect time to get them. They were going to be so inaccurate. Instead, they have not had a great time dealing with anyone coming through art. And this is maybe trying to turn them into a work of art, and the paint is going to be their blood, but they still survive, get to be a moving statue. It's just art in motion, but you have one person that's very hurt, another that's with a stinger, which is basically emotional damage. They're going to try and heal him up with a regrowth.
All my effort's gone, but they're able to get the kill and scores the reload almost in time, but they're able to manage to find the kill just in the nick of time as well. Man, if that was anything but a bad buy round, I have to imagine Skies falls outside art there.
It's
a little risky.
It was neat because they were dropping the well, trying to be able to keep them in place and then play to it. But yeah, you have not had a confident either single swing or even double swing, which would have been great to communicate for the Muskies whenever they're just in that corridor. You have these guys hanging out on Mohawk that I'm now officially I'm gonna take that. That's a great call. That is perfect call. But
thank you.
Yeah, I don't understand kind of being apprehensive to that.
Right? Like, I think most people just don't know what I'm referring to when I say Mohawk. Even though it's that divider right there. Yeah, it's Mohawk. I don't know. What else do you call it? Divider? That's not fun.
there.
It doesn't even have like a call. It's like Plaza and the thing.
Yeah.
A little try. Yeah.
The amount of games I'm in and people are like, they're on the thing. True. Good comms.
Yeah.
Speaking of good comms, SFU's had really good comms so far, realizing the one time Muskingum found success was with mid control. Let's not have that ever again, and we've been seeing the Astra Sage duo fighting for mid every round ever since. It's honestly been the same exact strat, like the default setup every round, and they keep finding success with it. The difference making is Rosanate rendezvousing out, and then rotation from Oath, and now finds his kill as well. I had to pause on the strike talk because the frags are coming through Muskingum, but also
30 seconds left.
Oh no.
Tux. See, this is what you do. Tucking you, Oh no! He was right in the middle of it. Middle of that duel not being moved anywhere. Still a stable shot.
Yep. I think Mako actually saw the star and stood on top of it on purpose because they knew what was about to happen. They were cool with it. Oh, but stepping on out. Rosanate could be a hero. For once, it's not a 1v3. It's a 2-on-2. Mako, though, has a very powerful weapon and, you know, one dead Frenchman. So they get a 3K. Doodle's going to try and get this out with the boom bot. They know that this upper level will just require a quick burst. They take care of Wired Up. She is put to the ground through the first 8. Done with 2/3. Well, no, hold on. No, 2/3. No,
1/8.
2/3. 2/3 of the first half. 4s, right? 4. 8. Yeah, 2/3. Yeah. Math is tough. That's why I'm not in college and these guys are.
Math is hard. What I was talking about before. Sorry. Resetting to the strat talk. Raise Fade, A main. Astra Sage with the crossfire, mid control. Chamber going for B. That's the same setup SFU has been doing for almost every round this half. The only difference is who pushes forward first. They're mixing that up, and that alone has thrown off Muskingum enough to make it hard for them to be able to pull off holds on the defensive side. But now with the bad buy round, Singers again, they push out again, but with only Rosanate trying to hold on to B site, Mako finds blood yet again.
Just a hungry shark. And look at this. He's going to hang on to this tight angle, but he's actually running up with that operator down. So Oath is able to get him before they could get to that proper stance. So they've got an operator. They're going to hold this from distance. As soon as that nebula does drop, they're going to have to stagger these stars, but Scorch is pressing out in front of space and time. The Cosmic Divide will be able to protect them even further. This is me tough. They have to press through, and they own every bit of real estate on the opposite side of that wall.
That's shorting him. Maybe it won't matter if they can get to that Vandal. Nice kill for Wire. That surely was so necessary. Kitten falls anyway. A little tough to get to that. Blast packed away. A nice angle by Dig. No Vandal for you, and it was a judge all along, but not that it mattered at the very end. 8-1 for SFU.
Continuing to just be a showcase of good communication and just being smart. I mean,
yeah, just great at Valorant, straight up. All the players.
Yeah. They're like, all right, they're on a bad buy. There's a power weapon. Our boy dropped right there. So make sure that doesn't go away. And then just a little boo into a nice shot that just pops them away. So we saw 9-3 to end Icebox. And it was by a streak just like this one. Fighting for mid like it's a sumo wrestling match. Maybe a bit of tug of war in that as well. Prowler does get pushed Skies away. So now they own Plaza. Good job. And all 5 are here while Doodles is on the opposite side alongside their Fade. Maybe looking at A. There's a lot of firepower just right here.
You see the rotation over towards A side because he's not really blinding light onto Doodle, but as they have people falling to support A, that's when they have people falling on the site of Plaza. EK, though, answers back to secure a side. The resurrection underway. Makes it 3 versus 3 yet again. Spike is not in hand for SFU, but they'll have a moment to breathe.
Some tiny one. Everyone's fairly high up in HP, so there's no great advantage. EK cannot heal themselves. Their regrowth, but they finally pick up Spike and they start considering what comes next. Rocinante is on the backside of this corner. I'm just waiting for a bit of that audible intel. You have one hanging out in Plaza. They're going to be maneuvering and moseying over towards ramp, just kind of waiting for the call out.
30 seconds left.
Run back through from distance. With 30 seconds remaining, there's really not a lot of time to renegotiate to go over A. You either get all kills or you get that plan off. The operator in Mako's hands has been such a lethal weapon. It's a hammer. They are the nail. They will try to plant them down. You have 2 up in front of them. Everyone is blind. This could be a utility diff in denial. Rocinante is able to get him from with that phantom, but EK is dropped, popped like a pinata. Just live longer. That's all you got to do. Plant will not go through. The defenders from Muskingum will finally be able to get this one.
The yeet off the top ropes was an interesting play for sure. I did like the tag teaming from Wired Up in Rocinante at the very end there, dropping the haunt as soon as that drops in. A completely different angle, because when Rocinante peaks and challenges, is basically a checkmate action scenario. And another round for Muskingum. This is also, we talked about Deja Vu earlier on with the 1v3 post plant for Rocinante. SFU winning the bonus round, off to a great start. And also, again, Deja Vu of Muskingum starting to kind of get a little bit of life in the lungs at the very end of a half, to maybe make it like a 3-9-ish end. But again, would it be Deja Vu of it being too little too late?
Feels like they get to profit off of the idea of nearly the up, trying to be able to go for their leg, but Doodle is now just suppressed, decayed, and otherwise dismayed as they have all of 1 HP in a dream. They're trying to run bodies quicker than the Russians did in the World War II from this flank out of Art. Now they get 1. They can't quite get a second. Mako is dropped out of bounds as they go to respawn. Now from the backside corner, all the way from spawn, they see him from the swing. They get 1. Can they grab another? Yes, they can. Kitten is able to find nice saucer of milk and the flavor of Red Flash. So this is good. They could improve from instead of a 9-3 to a 4-8.
Yeah, I mean, we saw last game that they were looking so good on the other half to where if it was a 4-8, maybe they would have had enough breathing room to make it like an overtime situation. And that could be the thing here. Going into the offensive side, they don't have explosivity for sights, but they have a lot of utility set up for it, so that could be a thing that we talked about for the other half, which we will get to soon, but 1 round away from that.
You want to play?
We now have no ultimates other than the Tour de Force for SFU, but we have the Cosmic Divide for Muskingum, which we haven't really seen much from Muskingum's Cosmic Divide so far. The one that we really saw that was notable was from Sky as part of SFU's. So we'll have to look at for this. The Viper's Pit is available as well.
Don't get in my way.
Playing for Art, interesting.
And you're gonna have Skies that's just straight up winning the gunfight in Plaza. And I wonder if that Cosmic Divide, maybe it's been saved for so long, try and play it as a retake method. They've not been able to really get too much value of it, or at least build it up early, and they just kind of fear they wouldn't be able to do so at least twice. I feel like that's almost default, but that confidence. Nice turnout as Mako will swing it out. Getting that one on the Tour de Force. They do TP away, but look at the top side as everyone is rotating there. Rocinante will be hanging out onto that plant, but they actually TP out. No, they will TP to the grave. Mako finds them. This is a Viper's Pit that had no one partying in it. You've got a judge, and you're facing 5. This would be the craziest ace I've ever seen in my life.
Spike planted.
Whoa. The swing shotgun play from Kitten. Able to get the upgrade weapon, but not going to be able to shut down Dig, who's able to pre-fire the angle on and off angle as well. And just like Mr. Owl won't know how many licks it takes to get to the swinner of Tootsie Pop, we won't know what Oath's plan was with that Cosmic Divide.
I really wanted to know.
Yeah, I wanted to know.
Never really got to see it, but you know, maybe they'll tell us in like a different day. Maybe write a thesis on it about how they're gonna divide Pearl in half and make it into 2 like smaller domes. I don't know.
It's just like how Mr. Owl took the bite out of the Tootsie Pop, too. We'll never know. Mako took the bite out of Oath. Feels bad.
Oh, yeah, that's. I always get mad at that commercial, just unreasonably so. Like, stop
Come on, man.
eating it. Yeah, Like, I want to know. Just get to it. But for the time being, we got a 3-9. We got Muskingum with a chance. They had a 3-9 before. Now we got another 3-9. Got to see if they can do it from the equal but opposite venture. They started on attack. And they were smacked back to reality every single time when they first started. Now you get to end maybe the series on attack, but they showed promise at the end of that half. They have to have that kind of promise at the beginning. Oath and the gang are going to start leaning it through Plaza, which is what they wanted to own in the first place, and they have good entry when it comes to utilizing maybe the sky, especially off of that good old dog, but they're trying to play this from distance, which has not been their forte.
Don't know about Dig being here either, because the Trailblazers didn't quite make the distance happen, but Oath was able to make the distance happen, be right into the face of Doodle. Got the first blood of the half, which could be a good sign for Muskingum, especially with Dig not being able to deal with this push and pull pressure from Muskingum. So looks like Scorch is going to have to be forced away as well. Mako, though, and Scorch able to fight back. Make this a 3v3 post plant. This is winnable.
Yeah, this is an enemy at the gates for Scorch as well, because they went into art to be able to take on that fight, and they won. Doing that on the opposite side as well. Oh boy. This guy's going to try and drop a Nebula, get rid of some sight. It's in. EK comes around from the opposite end of dugout. You do get the poison orb, and they're trying to be able to rocket through. Skies is going to be able to find them. They hang out in dugout. That's another swing. Skies gets 2. It's a one-on-one. They're going to play for the fake. They know they're right there. They have to play it from distance. They got all of a classic and a dream. They're going to drop the Nebula. They have to be able to get back to it. They have to commit up. They know they do. Get out of there. Put some shots on fire, and that'll be the first pistol round of this series to Muskingum.
Hidden falls, but they didn't have anything to save anyway. No worries. We got the dub. That's what matters. That's what counts the most. Honestly, shout out to EK for being able to go do that crab rave into the back towards SFU spawn, shutting down Mako on the rotation around, and made that winnable situation for SFU severely less so. And Scorch's Prowler did not properly clear default. Which is why Wired Up was able to just say they're ratting it behind the corner and just pop out. Scorch had no idea where they were. They kind of baited themselves into a false sense of security.
Death ball cometh from the side of St.
Oh,
Francis.
Lord, it coming.
Oh, they rolling. It is those tiny little fat cats. I love their tiny legs. It also bought up into some frenzies, which is the superior format if you cannot buy to a proper sub or otherwise. But they've kind of split from Art and Connector out over to B. See if side is clear, and then maybe a...
They flip sides. They're on different sides of the map.
What the heck happened?
Both teams.
What?
How did we get here?
You know what? They got there one way or another. There's a bunch of orbs down. Ultimately, the stun does come out, but Wired Up is going to be able to get this plant. They are rooted for the time being. So the defenders now have to play attackers in a weird way.
Yeah, this just feels like a normal round, but the time is shorter for SFU than the SFU attack. So it's not down. Good position to hold Art, but it's going to be wrapped around by Dig. There's going to be a Bulldog drop as well. Should this kill come around away? The timing could be perfect. Nope.
Oh. So close. They're going to be able to upgrade. They do get at least another Bulldog. Snake Bite's going to make one weak. Coming around the corner. That's not great for you. Trying to be able to get a wall bang, and the power differential and having the numbers difference will be the key. So, again, they get 2. Gonna try and play into this third round, which is so key for the takeaway for the Muskies. They have not been able to properly get this away from the Red Flash, who have been so winning in these first opening rounds, but even playing with like, all right, we're gonna have light shields. We're gonna make sure we really snowball some of this this economy and make sure we have just a couple Bulldogs to our name. Just they still have the ability to get back into proper competitive order with St. Francis. It's just, I don't know. This is starting to feel like the vibe in the late halves, but it's right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Everything has felt like deja vu so far this game, and still this start of the second half where it's Muskingum on the pistol round win and the winning the anti-ego. And if they're the ones in the bonus round here, then you gotta imagine the dream is fully alive. The curse could be real enough to come back happen this map. So we'll see how things go on. Not every roll if you lose this one either, because surely it is just a bonus, but not a lot of info gained from SFU's utility so far, the Prowlers, except for the fact that they confirmed that nobody is in Arc yet. The good idea that this is the angle that Muskingum's going to play through. And that's why Mako set up. It's the first frag pushed through. Got caught by that snake bite as well. Made it a little easier for them.
They have more intel being gained, especially because they're able to identify Dabbing Penguin. Nice tag. They're still here in Plaza, which really has been to not their greatest favor. They've been trying to rotate through over to B. They actually made sure to hang on to that outside lurk angle to make sure they were not squeezed, but in a 3-on-4, Scorch is going to come around with all of the sound popping. They will be locking onto Wired Up's head. So, now 1-on-4 won't matter anymore. Skies is waiting for Mako to do their business. They started with first blood. They end with the last frag. So it gets to double digits again before the Muskies can even have time to think. We're going to have a true rifle round coming up.
Mako having such a fantastic game here. Did great on Icebox too. I just really want to highlight right in the moment. We have a scoreboard up 22-10. Doing so much work on that offensive half of just getting that frag on B, just winning the chamber versus chamber duel essentially more often than not. And that creates so many opportunities for the team, and doing now a great flank timing, still playing for that beat site, just making that their kingdom. Like you said, still going to be a big buy up. They'll probably get some information, but that is a risky area to push out to them if you're Dig, and going with yet again this art wall. Trailblazers doesn't get a lot of information, but they still know that Sage is indeed in this area. It's a really strong setup default.
See, if I see that, I would want Dig almost to kind of renegotiate outside of Art and just kind of be able to move all the way to top side down to T. But Scorch is going to lead Kitten to the next round as we're in the 16th. Trying to see if the Muskies can fight their way up into A from back sights. Skies has a couple of stars. They can activate them at a moment's notice if they need to. Wells, stuns, stars. You'd be seeing stars if you're still caught in the middle of them. You're going to put that concealment, and they're going to try and well it off. So this will delay. Nice call up as the defense will rotate. You actually get Mako doing that into that corner, just straight up coming out of the smoke and able to win that duel, but it will be Scorched from the opposite angle. EK to the floor, 5 HP for Rocinante. Too familiar for them. They don't like where they are, and they don't like having to deal with it. And now they are surrounded again. It's going to be really tough if they even want to get to the bomb, because those stars about to drop, and they got 3 guns spamming at them.
Yeah, Doodle has the exit as well, so there's no way out right now for Rocinante. Does manage to get that nice headshot, but still, round ends, and credit to Sky's stars being so oppressive, not letting Muskingum have any access to the site whatsoever. Can't get through that choke point. I like the setup for default from SFU as well right now, where they have had a good default setup for offense. They just kept doing it and it working, but right now they have Sage blocking off Art. They have a trademark that Doodle could play off of for Link. And of course, Mako doing just rendezvous chamber things or be long, and meanwhile the stars for the choke point A sites. Fade just kind of floating and providing utility for plaza control, supporting A sites. It's just a really good setup overall for SFU.
And this whole site, or held this whole map under control. This is something that they played for. They picked this map in the first place, so they knew they had a game plan, and now you still have Scorch and Dig just waiting in Art. They're getting a little bit more aggressive, pressing up to the north side of it. They're able to get at least one trade wired up, gets rid of their doppelganger. Scorch will drop. Dig is going to look to be able to get that wall up. Not exactly pop up on top of it, which is a good idea. They would have been very exposed, especially as the honk comes through. This one starts to rotate around. Oath has said it's clear. It's good to go. Get in. As now they're going to go into that weird crawl that makes my knees hurt. So do we have Mako seeing it happening from screens? He's basically got a full viewpoint to tower.
Plant the spike.
Both doing the slosh, going to the defender spawn, but how much will it amount to is just hand. Like, will try to be planted. Will it even get off? No, the spam and all the utility from Doodle is a little bit too much. So much damage. Too much for Muskingum to take.
Last player standing.
Frenzy does get 1 kill, but the economy is so alive for SFU. They're going to need to do a lot more than that. This economy feel good. Stinger in hand, long range for Mako. The timing is going to be too much for EK to handle. It's going to be match point and series point for SFU.
SFU has efficiently dismantled, disrupted, and dismayed the likes of the Fighting Muskingum. They've had some brief moments of brilliance, and with as many ults are as nearly online, we have 8 of the 10. We're sure Rocinante is going to try and be able to at least get one. Doodle could get that showstopper in a hurry. If this has the makings, Chad, of this just being a rundown. We've had such patient play, but this is one of those when you're so far in the lead, it could just be a death ball in the form of all these ults popping off.
And it's very similar default still. Little micro changes on exact positioning, but still at least stars in a main, walled off for art, so they know they're not coming through that angle. Trademark for Link towards B. So SFU knows exactly what they're dealing with right now. The only way that Muskingum can come is through these stars, through the choke point. As the stars utility is being burned, see some spam going other way. Keep the suppression on the line. That's slower as well, just burning the clock.
EK is all the way up in Plaza, waiting for, since all this pressure's here outside of A, for anyone to flank up. Doodle hasn't moved. Mako hasn't moved. Everyone very disciplined about this defense right now. Cosmic Divide does come up, so they're going to try and burst through. Another Nebula. We are down to a single quadrant. The Nightfall is going to try and deafen everyone. A lot of marking going on. Kitten is able to find Skies. They're going to press around. Mako and Doodles are going to run it away. They have a field trip to find out who's in the dugout. No one's there, so everyone's still in this 3 remaining. Make it 2 because the paint shells are able to get Kitten to be able to end this series.
So much utility Muskingum has to fight through. There's not much to work with here. Mosinante as a chamber just has to frag out. This operator is OP, the Tour de Force, but is it OP enough to deal with 4 people? No, it's going to be a swing one tap from Dig to close out the series and back-to-back 13-5 wins. It was not a deja vu start to the second half, but everything else certainly was. SFU with a dominant series win 2-0 to finish it off and keep their win streak alive.
Yep, they're able to go 5-0. 4 of their 5 matches, they've been able to go 2-0 in map play. So just looking really, really good so far for the ECAC Esports. And just this has been just a squad that executes well. They took on Icebox. They were able to really own it through the first, 10 rounds. They got 9 of them. And then coming into Pearl, they had a game plan in mind. Get to those ult orbs, build it into the Cosmic Divide, be able to really empower their controllers, and ultimately just win when you got to win. You see Muskingum trying to take Plaza for themselves, and they're like, hey, we would love to rent here, but they were the landlords. They owned the entirety of Pearl. They take it a nice 2-0 sweep, Chad.
And really to show the dominance of SFU as well, as we kind of talked about during the game, where it was the same default setup almost every round on both offense and defense. There's a little micro changes, but overall it's still the same assignments of which agents go where. And they mix up the timings a little bit here and there, change it all up, but there's no massive change to the strategy from SFU because they weren't ever forced to have to do that. Only the little things to change up just to disrupt the tempo and reads a little bit. That's all they really needed to do. So it was a very dominant showing from SFU, and you saw a lot of the confidence in plays as well when they took the swing, took the peaks, and also they seemed to be very prepared for the options that Muskingum were trying to make happen.
Well, we're going to see what exactly maybe some of those inside strategies were, as we're going to take a short break and then have a nice interview from someone over at St. Francis, the Red Flash. We'll be able to tell us all about it right after this.
Nobody ever did, the odds is real big, jobs that's real big, Satan trying a little, my God is real big, stayed up on the grind on the cards is real big, I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live, and I promise I'm trying to, before you count me out, homie, let me remind you, they was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to, counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you, let me rewind to, back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents, they was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live. ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything. Becoming a leader is a choice. So if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment. At any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon?
Off by talking about how Muskingum banned away Fracture, kind of a new map. A lot of people don't like touching new maps, but you guys banned the old goodness of Haven and picked Pearl instead. Clearly look good on it. Look just as good on Icebox. Is that kind of like your wheelhouse where you want to play the newer hotness maps, or did you sense the waters that Muskingum's going to be weak on it, or are you just happy to be strong on it? What was the strategy there?
So whenever we went into scrims, okay, we figured out we were actually pretty decent on Pearl. We had everything kind of figured out. Regarding Haven and why we banned it, we again played multiple scrims. It just didn't work out too well. The 3 sites didn't work out with the defense. Regarding Fracture, we like Fracture. It's not our favorite map to go to, but you know.
Okay. I mean, I
Yeah.
respect that. Fracture's kind of got that new vibe, that new feel. Maybe
Yep,
you learn to
yep.
love it. I like it personally. It's one of my top 3. I won't mention
Mhm.
the third. Everyone hates that one. But I need to know. So you
Okay.
definitely had confidence on
Oh
Pearl.
yes, definitely.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, but tell me about kind of like how it all really progresses, because you guys had kind of this train of thought to really just go from end to end, side to side, going to those top points, getting the alt orbs, building into those cosmic divides. It seems like you really built around that kind of Astra,
Yep.
and then Mako just being a demon. Did
Mhm.
we surmise your overall strategy for that map? Because you're also playing well defensively. I mean,
Mhm.
Chad mentioned a few times your default was just you
Wonderful
controlled
mid.
anything through mid.
Yep. So a lot of our strategy is to leave Mark on his own and let him do his own demon things. Okay. And we have the fade and the raise go A. So if anything were to happen backside, we could just throw the C's and then the nade. So that's how we gain a lot of control through A main. We also have fade dog go up through. We're mainly taking space throughout the map, and then we're just kind of figuring out where to end while also taking orbs in the process. And whenever we go through our B take, we put down the Astro Orb, so we're able to gain space without being opt or chamber killed, or getting killed by chamber rather.
Mm.
So we could just take space and ultimately uh, be able to walk up B.
Did it really well. Mm.
Yeah, definitely did really well. I did notice that your defaults were pretty much the same on offense, defense almost every round. What changed the most would be like little micro changes of who takes contact first, probably just feeling it out to work on if Mako finds a frag, which he usually did, or if you found a little space towards A because he had too much pressure on defense and mid instead. So you just go in towards A and push out with Doodle and backside, things like that. But were there anything that was like in the wheelhouse he didn't show today? Because a lot of it was just this one default. How many more strats do you have in the playbook as far as like did you feel pressure at all to make the changes, or are you just like, no, we're just gonna keep running this the whole time and just never stop?
We never really got pressured either long or A, so we usually just kept on doing the default. If usually we'll mix something up if it doesn't work. If they start pressuring something, we'll definitely go to the other site or try to take space, group together. But they didn't really show too much pressure regarding A control or B long. There was occasional rounds where we would be out of position and maybe they'd flank and get 1 or 2. But other than that, we stayed calm, collected, and then we just kept following our own default.
And you have an execution space. You know exactly what you're doing. I've been able to talk with St. Francis players before from the Rocket League side, and I know all about y'all's kind of cool school and facilities. So I know that you guys have some great players and people that are over there. But I need to know, because comms, not just with how good you guys were able to kind of communicate, to rotate around the map. I want to know, after that the sixth knife, after the blade storm from Doodle on Icebox, and when he's able to just swing through and take Oath down, did it go wild after that?
Oh, it absolutely went wild. We were screaming. we were all happy. It was just insane. I don't really know how he got the knife kill, but he just did.
He just swung through. It's just
He
brought
just swung
the sixth
through.
knife.
What actually happened on his end was, for some reason, it switched to his knife instead of his pistol, and then he just went for it.
That's all you have time for. That situation.
Yep.
He started looking at
Yep.
you. Well, hey, Scorch, thank you so much for joining us. I want to give you a moment to do last shout outs or thanks or, sponsor reads that you should pop or something like that if you want to, if that's clearly the magic weapon for Mako, or whatever you want to say in this moment.
Shout out Mark, shout out Sam, shout out Connor, and shout out Jared. Jared's playing from home, but he'll listen to the stream. And thank you HyperX for sponsoring us.
There you go. And Juicy Drop Pops. Don't forget those.
Oh, Juicy Drop Pops, yeah, too. Hey, we need one of those sponsors. I'm not gonna lie.
Keep Mako going. Fuel for the veins. But yeah, that's Scorch. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you,
That's
guys.
gonna thank you. That's going to wrap up the interview here. That's wrapping up the ECAC broadcast for Valorant side, as far as I'm aware. And it was a really fast day for us. Hail Monkey Man, it's a pleasure casting with you first time ever. I enjoyed my time. I hope everybody at home enjoyed their time as well. But yeah, talking about that series, any last thoughts that you have?
I mean, that looks like a well-oiled machine outside of St. Francis. I know all about their esports program. They are able to support each other really well. And of course, just seeing that they come in with a plan, execute, have a great time. And of course, Juicy Drop Pops, keep people keeping alive and active and just antsy in their chairs. And apparently going 48-17 for Mako between two separate maps is wild. So, hey, you know what? This is a team that's really kind of top tier up there for ECAC. Someone's got to get out there to be able to stop them. Maybe, I don't know if anyone can right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We still have a few more weeks in the regular season, and I have to imagine that we'll see SFU going a lot further than that. But that's something we'll have to watch for future weeks. That's going to wrap it up for this week itself. And thanks everybody for watching. I'm Chad Lannis. Joining me is Hail Monkey Man. Shout out to Cool Scoots on observing, Zach for producing, and SFU for showing up today, Muskingum as well. Everybody in chat, appreciate you being here as well. Can't do it without you. Have a great Tuesday, great rest of the week. Take care.
Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
All right. Yep. Thanks for the interview, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yep. Have a good one, guys. Peace.
See you around.
Too.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soul, putting that on the Lord. Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's what years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Say trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars.
So we just like by the glow of our little.
The only way that I can live.
I even turned the white volume down.
Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. It was blocking the shine. Now I think it's my time to count for them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents, and now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try to tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. You're off of too little, sorry,
I enjoyed
it. Real big.
You have a nice flow to your voice, man. Enjoy that.
I gotta do it big. That's the only way I can live.
Very entertaining. I almost said irritating. Oh my gosh, no.
You know what? It's both. I'm okay. You can mix those words in there. I'm okay. You know.
I love
fired.
No.
I'm a big boy. Look, if that cut down my career, I would have stopped like 3 years ago.
That's fair. The internet has definitely made us. Oh boy, something's happening in the background.
Apparently.
You're popping off back there.
I'm gonna go pop up and get some dinner.
Yeah,
See you guys on the other side.
Y'all have a wonderful night.
Later.
Have a good one.
Ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Say trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything. Becoming a leader is a choice. So if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment. At any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams.